What is going on, guys? I'm back today bringing you a brand new video. So in today's video, I'm going to be sharing a story with you guys. So let's get into it. Alright, first off, let me start off by saying if you hear any background noise, it's because I have a fan on because it's like 1,000 degrees in here, literally. And also the neighbors are doing yard work outside, so I apologize. But anyways, let me get started with this story. So, I never thought I would be making a video like this. As you can see by the title, I messed up big time. Luckily, it wasn't that bad, but I messed up. So let me just start from the beginning. So, this happened about almost a year ago, I believe. Actually, this was about 2 years ago. So this happened about 2 years ago to this day. I was a freshman in college, I was commuting to school, and I was running a little bit late. Now, being a freshman in college, I really didn't know what to expect. This wasn't the first day of classes, but it was only a few weeks in, so I really didn't know what to expect if I was late. So if you don't know, college is kind of different. Like, the rules are different, the professors can be kind of mean if you're like late to class. Sometimes they can even throw you out of the class and you'll fail, and then you'll have to retake the class, and it's just a big disaster. So nobody wants to be late to class. And I guess that goes for any type of school. Like, even if you're in high school, whatever, like, you know you're gonna get in trouble if you're late to class. Like, you probably get detention or something. So if they say they're gonna throw you out of the class, like, maybe it's just an empty threat, or maybe they're serious. Like, you never really know. And in the first couple weeks of school, like, you really don't want to mess up, because then the professor's just gonna have a bad image of you, like if you're late the first few weeks or whatever. So I didn't want to like get on the bad side of my professor. So basically, nobody likes to be late to class, and I hate to be late to anything. Like, I'm the person who will take 10 extra minutes to make sure I'm not late. Like, I get anxious and nervous about being late. So I never like to put myself in situations like that. So let's just go back to the morning that this happened. So my class started at 8:30, I believe. 8:30 in the morning. And usually I would get up like super early because I never hear my alarm, and I always have this fear that like I'm gonna oversleep and miss my class. And well, that fear almost came true this day. So on a typical morning when I had class this early, I would wake up maybe around 7 a.m. which gave me some time to take a shower, maybe eat something, and then head out. Now, my drive to school was probably only 25 minutes. Sometimes with traffic it could be more or less. Like, if some days I got all the traffic lights, I can get there in 10-15 minutes. So it was really a hit or miss. And like I said, I was new at this school, so I really had no idea what was going on, especially with the traffic. So it was kind of an adjustment that I needed to go through. Now, this made me even more anxious because I'm like, do I have to get up at like 6 a.m. to like make sure I'm at my class at 8:30? And I'm not even talking about parking. Like, the parking lot at this school is ridiculous. Sometimes it took me like a half hour just to find a spot. So when you add all that together, it's just too much. It's very stressful. And I always had this fear of just being late. So the morning that this happened, I overslept. I think I was supposed to wake up, like I said, at 7. I didn't wake up at 7. I vaguely remember waking up like half asleep. Like, if you know what I'm talking about, you kind of wake up but you're not really like conscious. I think maybe it was around 7:30 because I remember SpongeBob was on, and I know SpongeBob plays from like 7 to 8 a.m. So I vaguely remember that, and I was like, yeah, I gotta get out of bed, and I never did. So eventually I wake up and I roll over to see what time it is, and I see, I think it was maybe like a 10. I couldn't see the hour, but I could see the minutes, so I saw a 10. I'm like, oh, it's probably 7:10, I got time. And then I realized that SpongeBob wasn't playing anymore, and I'm like, wait, is it past 7 o'clock? And then I look at the clock, and there's an 8. So I'm like, oh my god, I overslept. So the clock doesn't lie. The clock said it was 8:10. Now, my class is at 8:30. Like I said, it takes me at least 10 to 15 minutes to get there, but I just thought that if I hopped out of bed, threw some clothes on, and got out the door, that if I didn't hit any traffic and I got so lucky to get a spot, I would make it there barely, because I had a little over 20 minutes. I honestly thought that I had enough time to just barely make it there. So here I am, hopping out of bed, trying to find something to wear, putting some shoes on, getting out the door, and stupid me, I'm like, oh, I could just take a shower real quick. I literally took a 30-second shower. And it wasn't even a shower, I just got my hair wet because my hair is a disaster. And then I threw some clothes on and I got out the door, and I was driving like a freaking maniac. Like, I'm surprised I didn't kill somebody, honestly. And I never drive like that. I always drive safe. And sometimes I drive too slow. So for me to be driving like 15 miles over the speed limit, it was just bad. So I know you're probably thinking, oh, you got a speeding ticket. But no, I didn't. I got one of those mysterious tickets, and I'll get into it later. So here I am driving like a maniac, trying to make it there in 10 to 15 minutes, and I needed a few minutes to find parking. So I'm like, I need to run a few lights or something like that, and I wasn't gonna do anything super illegal. Like, if there was a red light, I was gonna stop. But if it was like yellow and I still had some time, I was gonna gun it and hope that I made it. And at this time, I didn't know if there was gonna be a lot of buses or traffic, so I'm just thinking in my head like, I'm so screwed. And I knew that my professor was gonna get mad, and and I didn't even know what the consequences were going to be afterwards. Like, I was so scared from just being in high school, and I can only imagine like in college. And I know it's different, but I was just super scared. I'm like, I don't want to be late. So here I am flying down the road, hoping that I can make it there. And I did get stuck for some lights, but I was looking at the clock, and I remember that my clock was either 2 minutes ahead or 2 minutes behind or whatever. So I was kind of trying to do the math in my head. As I'm getting closer and closer to the school, I'm like, you know what? I got 5 minutes of time. Like, I got some time to spare. Like, I'm gonna make it. I thought I was gonna make it, and I thought I was gonna have extra time to find a parking spot, which I needed, because I can't, what am I gonna do with the car? Like, I gotta park it somewhere. Being new to the school, I kept going the long way. Every time that I went to school, I was going the long way, and I didn't know it until like a year in, when I found a shorter route to get there. So here I am going the long way, being late, and like I said, I was driving a little bit reckless, a little bit crazy, and I was kind of blowing some lights. And let's just say I blew one light that I probably shouldn't have blown. So I'm kind of a smart guy, and I basically know what lights have cameras that will take a picture of you if you go through it and then send you one in the mail. But like I said, I'm new around here, I'm new to this school, and I don't really know all these back roads. And when you're in the moment and you're late, you're usually not thinking about things, you're not looking around. And I didn't see this sign that said photo enforced in front of this light. So I didn't completely blow the red light, at least I didn't think that I blew the red light. Like, I thought that I went through with it and it was still yellow, but I cut it close. And this was super early in the morning, like only 8 a.m. and it was sunny out, so if there was a flash taking a picture of my car going through the red light, I didn't see it. So in the back of my mind, I'm like, okay, I'm doing alright, I'm good. And at this point, I only had 1 or 2 more traffic lights to go through to get to school. So I had 1 or 2 minutes to spare, and I'm like, you know what, I think I can do it. So after I blew that red light, I'm pretty sure I blew the next few just to get in the parking lot, because I knew I only had like 1 minute left and I needed to park the car and then run to class. And basically the sad part of the story is that even though I parked my car, I thought I was like gonna be on time or maybe only 1 minute late. I got to the classroom and I was already like 3 or 4 minutes late. Like, the class had already started, and I was like heartbroken. I'm like, I just drove like a maniac. I didn't take a shower. Like, I just looked like a mess, and I did all of that and I was still late. Like, I could have taken my time and I could have been 10 minutes late because I was already late. So I was super bummed out and mad at myself the whole day for being such an idiot and blowing all those lights, and I was still late. Like, I was so mad at myself that day, and I looked like a complete mess. Now, fortunately, nothing really happened between me and the professor. Like, I was still trying to be a teacher's pet in a sense and like trying to participate and get my grade up. And I wound up getting an A in the class. So like I said, nothing happened and I was never late or absent after that. But I just had so much fear that day of being late that I had to do what I had to do. Now, unfortunately, the damage was already done. But that day, I thought I made it. I thought I was good. I thought that I learned a lesson that day and that I needed to set more alarms or whatever I had to do to never be late again. Like, I thought that I learned a valuable lesson. And then, about a month or 2 later, I learned an even more valuable lesson that I didn't want to learn, and that cost me some money. So like I said, that day I blew some red lights that maybe had a photo thing, and later on I found out that they did have a photo thing. I'm going through the mail a few months later, and I see that there is something from the town, which we usually don't get mail from the town or from the county or from the state or whatever. And I basically know what these tickets look like because my mom got a few of these because she doesn't know how to freaking drive. But when I saw this, I wasn't exactly sure if it was my ticket because my car is actually in my mom's name. The mail was in my mom's name, so in the back of my mind, I'm thinking like, you know what? My mom's already got a few of these. Maybe she got another one because I honestly was so confident that I didn't blow any red lights. Like, I thought that I came close that day, but I really don't remember blowing any red lights specifically. So me being curious, I'm like, you know what? Let's see whose ticket this is. Let's see whose it is. And I open it up, and at first it didn't hit me that it was my car because the first thing I remember seeing was the license plate. And my mom's plate has a very similar license plate to mine. Like, the first letter is the exact same. So I'm looking at it and I'm like, oh, I think this is hers. And then I open it up, and my car is blue or navy blue, and my mom's car is like bright red. So there's an obvious difference, and my car is also an SUV and she has a smaller car. So I open it up and it took a few seconds to hit me, and I was like, wait, that's me. And I was like, oh my god, I just messed up so bad. And the first thing in my head is like, when did this happen? I'm like, I don't remember blowing a red light. Like, I honestly didn't remember. I forgot about that day because I didn't want to remember that day. Like, that was just a terrible day. I just was like, I'm gonna forget about this. So I start looking at it more, and I look at the date, and I look at the timestamp, and it was a Tuesday, which was when my class was, and it was like 8:32 or whatever. So I was already late for my class. So either my clock was wrong or whatever, or I just messed up. But I was already late for my class because the timestamp was already past 8:30. So I'm like, oh my god, I know exactly when this happened. And then in the back of my mind, I was even more mad at myself because I was like, it wasn't even worth it. Like, as I was looking at this, I was just so mad because it wasn't even worth it. I was already late to that class. I was already late. Like I said, I should have just been late and gotten ready and then just gotten there maybe 15 minutes late. Like, I was already late. So the next problem was, okay, well now I gotta pay the ticket. And the way these tickets work is that it doesn't really go against anyone specifically. Like, I didn't get pulled over. So they don't really know who was driving the car. You don't get points in your license or anything like that, but you still have to pay the ticket. And me being me, I just didn't really want anyone to know about this, so I kind of just threw it under the rug. Not literally, like I paid the ticket, but I just didn't want to talk about it or tell anyone or anything like that. So I gathered up some money, I sent it out, and they basically robbed me of 80 bucks. And I was really mad at myself, because I could have done a lot with that money, but instead I had to pay this ticket. I don't know, I was just so mad at myself, and even to this day, I'm still mad at myself. But the good news is that I did learn a super valuable lesson, and I wanted to share that with you guys. That's really the whole purpose of me telling you this story. I also wanted to tell this story so that you guys could laugh at me for being such an idiot, but basically there is a moral behind every story, and the moral behind this story is that even if you're gonna be late, it's not worth it. Don't get a stupid ticket over being late. Like, just be late, okay? Don't kill anyone on the way. Like, I'm so lucky that I didn't hurt somebody or get in an accident or that nothing worse happened other than I got a ticket in the mail a few months later. So yeah, I'm an idiot, and that was basically my first ticket, or the first thing that ever happened to me with my car, because I'm a pretty good driver and I take pride in that. Like, I take pride in being good at what I do. Like, for me, this is kind of an embarrassing story because I'm kind of ashamed of what I did. Like, that was just so dumb. I should have just been late. I don't know, that was just me being stupid, and I learned my lesson. And what's funny is nowadays, you should see what happens when I get near one of those red lights that have a camera. Like, sometimes I'll even brake if it's a green light. Like, I don't even care. I'm just not getting another ticket. It's not worth 80 bucks. But yeah, they got me. I messed up. I got a freaking ticket. So that's my little story for you guys. I hope that you learned something through my experience, and please don't be as stupid as me. If you drive, please be safe on the road. Like I said 100 times, I've learned my lesson. I don't drive like that anymore. You really should not drive recklessly at all. You could hurt someone or hurt yourself or just destroy your car. Like, I love my car so much. I would be so mad at myself if I did anything to it purposely or on accident. Like, I would just be so mad with myself. I hope you learned something from my experience, and I really hope that you enjoyed this story. But yeah, that's basically all I got to say in this video. Let me know if you did enjoy this story. Don't forget to drop a like. Tell me if you ever had anything like this happen to you in the comments down below. Don't forget to subscribe if you're new to the channel, and I will see you guys in the next video. Peace.